One thing you have to remember, it's called network. It's not called net sit, it's not called net eat. And you have to work your network. And that's one of the things I think a lot of people don't understand. Sometimes people will go to a Chamber of Commerce event, or they'll go to a networking event, or they'll even come to a BNI meeting, and they sit back and expect the phone to go off the hook and referrals to flow. Well, you know what? You need to build up. You need to really take the time to get yourself to the level to make it work for you. And the more you give, the more you get. And the more you put into something, the more you'll get out of it. And I think that's the one thing business people have to realize. It's not automatic. It's not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's about business people focusing with other business people, helping each other's businesses grow. Well, what I wanted to talk about today is these amazing numbers that you have, and tell you that they were just okay. Because next year, the numbers that are amazing now, you won't even believe how great they will be. But I don't want to talk just about quantity of referrals. I want to talk about quality of referrals. So who here, by a show of hands, has any referrals for anybody today? Okay. I'm not going to call on you individually, but if you want to volunteer, we can help each other. Because I want to tell you what some really great referrals are, and then we're going to get back to those who have said that they have referrals and see what you could do to make it better. So let's think about this for a moment. Ricardo, would you like Scott to buy you lunch?
Sure.
Free lunch would be nice. So Scott, if Ricardo gave you a really great referral, would you buy him lunch?
I would indeed.
So
Dinner.
You'd buy him lunch and dinner. Okay, so let's think about this. We want to make this thing happen. So what would be a really great referral? Well, number one, we have these referral slips, and we pass them out a little bit later in the meeting. You'll see all the referrals flying everywhere around, okay? And so Ricardo's going to pick out a referral. He's going to give it to Scott, and Scott's going to say, hey, it's a great referral, Ricardo, but I'm not going to buy you lunch for that because it was just a piece of paper. How about this? How about rather than Ricardo just giving that referral to Scott, how about if you made sure you made a phone call, maybe even like a three-way call, and made some really good introductions to Scott? Would that be a little bit better? Hey, I got a better idea. How about this? Imagine this. Since Scott's going to buy you lunch, would you buy that referral person lunch also? So imagine this. Rather than just passing a referral, Ricardo sets up a lunch meeting with the person he wants to give to Scott and Scott. Now, think about it. Here you are at a lunch meeting. You have a person that is being given to you as a referral, so that's pretty good that they're right in front of you. You have a testimonial sitting at the table ready to talk about how wonderful you are. Isn't that a much better referral? And then, you know, even more, has anybody here ever gotten a referral that we call kind of a slam dunk? You got the referral and you basically call them up and it's already closed? Isn't that fun? So in 2013, would we like to see more of those slam dunks? Would we like to see more of these really high-end referrals? Well, it all kind of starts in the beginning. The funny thing is, and Scott alluded to it earlier in the meeting, you actually do get what you ask for. So if somebody says, I'm just looking for any business, then you can pick up the yellow pages, if they still have them around, and hand it to them because there's lots of any businesses there. So the first step we have to do is think about how are we going to get those high-quality referrals? Well, number one, we have to ask for them. We have to ask for them. And then we ask for them in two ways. Number one, during our 45-second presentations. But then I also want to talk about what's, I guess you might say, the most important part of BNI, and that's actually having the one-to-one meetings with everybody. And so that's what we want to think about. How can we take that better? So first of all, I want you to think about the referrals that you have today. What do you think you could do to bring it up a notch? Okay? Does anybody here want to be the brave person to volunteer about a referral they have for somebody today?
Yeah, I've got one.
Okay. So who do you have a referral for?
I've got a referral for Holly Harmon.
For Holly. You excited, Holly? Yeah. All right. So what could you do to really kind of take that up a notch, to make it a little bit better than just kind of passing that piece of paper?
Well, I like this idea. This person who I want to refer you to is a little skeptical. He called me up sort of in a desperate state about his health and wellness and asked if I would be his coach. And I thought, well, actually, I think you would do a better job with him. And when I proposed the idea, he was skeptical, never thinking that, wait a minute, why don't we all get together, the three of us, instead of just trying to get the two of you to hook up. That way, Joe, his name is Joe, would feel more comfortable chatting with you. So I think that might be a good idea. And then he can decide what it is he wants to do. But I love that idea. I've never
So
realized it.
how's this all going to work? Well, the first thing is, how about one-to-ones, okay? When are you going to be having a one-to-one with Holly?
We could have one tomorrow, actually, Holly, after our meeting.
Okay, did you know you're having one with him tomorrow?
Did I what?
Did you know that you're having one with him tomorrow? Now you know. Okay. It's a good thing, right? So here's the thing. One-to-ones are important. How many people here have brought their calendar, day timer, crackberries, wherever they happen to have their calendars with them today? That's great. First of all, you should never come to a BNI meeting without your calendar, because every time you leave, you set up a one-to-one. And I don't want to talk about just having a regular one-to-one, because you guys do a lot of one-to-ones. And what I'm going to encourage the membership committee to do is we're going to take the one-to-ones up a notch. And I don't even think they should be counted unless they can generate business for each other. So number one, now Scott and Holly have this one-to-one set up for tomorrow. Now, Scott, being the guy that always is organized and right on target with everything, as soon as he gets back to his office, he's going to send you an email confirming the meeting, because a one-to-one is a meeting, and just like a business meeting, you want to confirm it, okay? But in that, he's also going to happen to mention to you the type of referral that he's looking for. What's a good referral for you?
This week,
Mhm.
for me personally?
For you personally.
Oh, I'm small business owners who are women.
Okay? So women
Young
business
business
owners.
owners.
Okay, great. And so you got some homework to do now, don't you, Holly? If you go to a business meeting, you get a really good referral from somebody in the chapter, and you go to a business meeting, and in that, before the business meeting, anybody here ever do any preparation or homework before the business meeting? Kind of nice, because you go in there and you know what you're looking for. So if you get this email from Scott telling the type of referral he's looking for, wouldn't that be a great idea for you to start searching through your databases and kind of be ready for that? And by the way, Holly, you're going to respond to him and say, yep, I'll be there, and what's a good referral for you? Okay? So you see how we're going to make that connection? Because what we're trying to do is bring it up a notch. And you know what? If you have a one-to-one with somebody, do you think if you really tried hard enough and that was the ultimate goal, to get a referral for each other, you could walk away from that? Okay? So Charlotte, who are you going to have a one-to-one with this week?
With Beth.
Beth, did you know that, Beth?
Yes.
You know that now, right? And by the way, give yourselves each a virtual high five. Okay, you just made a contract, because when you have that one-to-one, you're going to communicate with each other before the meeting, and then you're also going to be making sure that you find a referral for each other. And so that might take a little bit of time. That might take a little bit of time just to be able to find those extra little pieces and everything else. But that's kind of the key. We want to make sure that we find them. That's good. Chris, who are you having your one-to-one with?
Alexander and I, today, right after this meeting, are getting together.
Awesome.
And I know it.
And you even knew it ahead of time. So you have to take that extra 3 seconds after the meeting so you can email each other. No, I'm just kidding. But the whole idea is that set up a one-to-one with everybody, at every meeting, follow up with emails, follow up with phone calls, and then take that up to the next notch there. So imagine, if you're looking for higher quality referrals, and we talk about those numbers, imagine where the numbers will be by the end of this year. Okay? So, any questions on that? Does that seem like something that's easy to do? Well, that was a trick question, because it sounds like it's easy to do, but here's what I find that happens in a lot of newer chapters, and even chapters been around a long time. You come off in the beginning of the year, and you say, okay, and by the way, I bet you that everybody in this room will probably have a one-to-one this week, because it's fresh in your minds. The key is, and for our leadership team, I'm empowering you guys. The key is, for the leadership team, you need to stay on top of everybody else. And you should have that chart, and the statistics, the PALMS report that we have, I recommend that you pass it out to everybody once a month, because then you can see how many one-to-ones were done, how many referrals were done, and it really keeps everything on top of the mind. So, to kind of end everything, just kind of wishing everybody here a happy 2013, but a very prosperous 2013. We're not looking for the quantity of referrals, we're looking for the quality of the referrals. But just like Scott mentioned earlier, when we start really looking for the quality and we start having to dig under the rocks, you'd be amazed about what's underneath there. So, kudos to your leadership team and everybody else, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you a lot. Thanks a lot.
Oh, I forgot the thunderous applause.
Oh, right.
Okay.